Hey there, everybody. Welcome to CP Cards and Dice TV, and we are continuing with our 1971 Seaver replay. Seaver, this is the 31st start, and it was played September 1st, 1971. Seaver's 18-4 with a 2.59 ERA. His one loss is a little bit better than actuality, and his ERA is a little bit worse, so it kind of bounces off. Now, this is a 0-0 game. We are joining the action in the top of the fourth. It's going to be Cleon Jones, Ed Kranepool, and Kenny Boswell, 3, 4, and 5 hitters against Bob Gibson. It's Bob Gibson against Tom Seaver in this deep drive replay PC replay. So let's get started. Now, the way you play deep drive baseball is you roll a 3D10s, a red and a white. You read it red, white. And then that's either the batter card or the pitcher card. Batter card goes from 0 to 49. Pitcher card goes from 50 to 99. When you hit a deep drive, it comes off the batter's card. So there is a twist to the 50-50 system. And here's the pitch to Cleon Jones. That's a 13, and that is slapped for a single to the opposite field. And Cleon Jones is on there with a leadoff single. And it's Eddie Kranepool, steady Eddie Kranepool. He won't be bunting. And he will be hitting and running because he's good at that. He has very few strikeouts. Oh, and that's going to potentially be a 90. Potentially because we rolled a 1 on the D20, so that sends us to the pitcher-catcher chart. And then we rolled a 92. A 92 is catcher is C, D, or F. C, D, or F. Ted Simmons. He's a D, so that is a pass ball. Tough break for the Cardinals. That ball gets past the catcher and allows the go-ahead run. The score is 0-0. The go-ahead run into scoring position. Eddie Kranepool now. No more hit and run. All right, here's a pitch. It's a 54 off Gibson. That is line base hit, and around to score is Jones. The throw is cut off, RBI single, and the Mets are up 1-0. Eddie Kranepool, a Met since he's 17 years old, finishes his career in 1979 as a Met. Never played with another team. That's old school baseball. I don't know that it was better for the players. It may be better today. They may make more money and have a more secure future. Because back in those days, sure, they stayed on the same team because they couldn't go anywhere else. And they were paid a pittance of what the owners made. So it's hard to say. All right, Kenny Boswell, left-handed hitter. Here's the pitch to Kenny Boswell. It's a 28 and a 7. That's a shallow fly to right field. Right fielder Joe Hay positions himself under it and makes the catch, gets it in to Teddy Sizemore at second base. Here comes Tommy Agee. Agee grounded out in the second inning. That's a deep drive off the bat of Agee. He's not going to get help from the stadium, and his 65 is going to be one hop off the wall, splits the outfielders, and Eddie Kranepool is going to stop. Nope. We're going to try to score Eddie Kranepool. He's being waved around, and here's a throw, and he is safe. 2-0 Mets. RBI for the center fielder, Tommy Agee. Went out, run around second. So they're getting to Gibson here a little bit in the top of the fourth inning. All right, next is Kenny Singleton. Here's the pitch to Singleton. That's a 16. That's a base on balls. So Gibson's rattled a bit and loses Singleton. And now it's Duffy Dyer. And then the pitcher on deck is Tom Terrific. Here's the pitch to Dyer. That's a 33 and a 6. That's ripped to the shortstop. Oh, this is tailor-made double play. Maxville goes to Sizemore, back to Alou, and it's a 6-4-3 double play. The Mets pick up 2 runs on 3 hits and a walk and a pass ball, and they lead at 2-0 going into the bottom of the fourth. Tom Terrific against Teddy Sizemore, Matty Alou, and Joe Torre. It's 2-0 Mets. Bottom of the fourth, that's a 37 and an 8. That's a fly to shallow right. 1 down. Right there is Kenny Singleton. Next is Matty Alou, a 300 hitter. So Tom Seaver checks the sign and winds and delivers. That is wrapped back up the middle and through into center field for a base hit. So I'll lose on with a single. Joe Torre doesn't strike out very much, so we'll try a hit and run. I try to keep it fair. And there goes the runner. He 55 is line drive base hit. Joe Torre strokes one to left center field, cut off. Matty losing to make it to third. First and third against Seaver. Infield's back looking for that double play. In the box steps Teddy Simmons. Simmons batted .304 in almost 600 plate appearances. Heck of a offensive catcher, that Teddy Simmons. Playing deep drive baseball. We're replaying the Seaver 1971 season, probably his best statistical season ever. A season he should have maybe won the Cy Young, but it was given to Fergie Jenkins, who had a few more wins than Seaver did. But Seaver had an ERA that bested Jenkins by a whole run. And here's the pitch to Simmons. The Mets are looking for the double play. And now, oh boy, that's trouble. That's going to be a deep drive off the bat of Simmons, and he's going to get ballpark help as well. So let's see what happens here. And that ball is off the wall. A double, one run will score. And they're going to try to score Torre. Yes, they will. And he is, a 64. Let's see. A 64. He holds. So Torre changes his mind, doesn't think he's going to make it. That's going to be an RBI double. That puts runners on second and third now. And it's Joe Haig. It's going to be RBI double for Simmons, and it's 2-1. That's all right. So Seaver looks in to Dyer for the sign. He sets, and here's the pitch. Joe Haig, a 94 and a 0, and that's line. This could turn into a double play. Line to the second baseman, and oh no. No double play. Not getting back in time is Ted Simmons. And now it's Jose Cruz. Jose Cruz batted .274. Or we could pitch to Dal Maxwell at .225. And I think I'm going to go to Maxwell. So we're going to intentionally walk Jose Cruz at .274 and pitch to Maxwell. That loads the bases. Pitch to Maxwell, who was batted .225. And it all depends on the roll, and that is going to be a fly ball, shallow left. Racing in is Jones, sliding catch, and he holds on to it. Wow, what a catch by Cleon Jones with the bases loaded. So Seaver gets out of trouble here. A bases loaded jam, but the Cardinals score one on 3 hits and a walk, and we go to the top of the 5th. It's 2-1 Mets. That was an exciting inning. All the action started once I started streaming, which is highly unusual. And here's Tom Seaver. That's a 46. That's off Seaver. A 4 is a slow ground ball to the second baseman. Sizemore charges, fires the first, and gets Seaver by half a step. Seaver hustling down the line. Tremendous athlete. Buddy Harrelson. Buddy Harrelson with a 92 and a 0. That's lined and caught by Dal Maxwell. 2 outs, and Wayne Garrett. Wayne Garrett is 0 for 1 with a walk. That's a 0-8. That's a base on balls. And he loses outside fastball, loses Garrett, who's on at first now with 2 outs. Cleon Jones, who's 1 for 2. He's the top hitting Met with about 320 average, 75. 75 is a defensive call. 35 is going to be range, and a 72. This could drop in there, a little bloop that will drop in there. And that's going to allow Garrett to make it all the way to third base. With 2 outs, he was on the run. So the second hit of the game for Cleon Jones. This one a little off the end of the bat that just dropped in there in front of Lou Brock. And that's first and third with steady Eddie Kranepool at the plate. And Gibson checks the sign, sets and deals. Fastball, 24, and that is a ground ball to the third baseman. And throws over to second for the force, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, bottom of the 5th, 2-1 Mets. Bob Gibson leading it off. Tom Terrific on the mound. 18-4, having a great season. 84-4, and that's hit hard at shortstop. Shortstop Buddy Harrelson up with it and throws out Gibson for out number 1. Deep drive baseball, what a great game. Plays very, very quickly. As you can see, that's an 88-2, and that's slow grounder. Kranepool charges and just tags Brock. 2 down, and here's Ted Sizemore. Lou Brock, rest in peace. Tom Seaver, rest in peace. 47 and an 8, and that's a fly to shallow right. Right fielder's Kenny Singleton, and he's there, makes the catch. We go to top of the 6th. No runs, no hits. Top of the 6th, 2-1 Mets. Kenny Boswell, Tommy Agee, Kenny Singleton. Pitch from Bob Gibson, a 46 and a 1, and that's popped up. Catcher flips his mask away, and Simmons hauls it in. Tommy Agee now. Tommy Agee is 1 for 2 with an RBI double. Here's the pitch to Gibson, and a 38 and a 7, and that's a deep drive left field. Back goes Brock to the track and hauls it in. So Brock got a good read on that ball, turned around, and jetted to the warning track. Kenny Singleton with a 45 and a 2, and that is a hard hit ground ball right at the first baseman, Matty Alou, who scoops it, flips to Gibson covering, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits. Bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Mets. Matty Alou is leading it off against the franchise. George Thomas Seaver. That's a 0-1. That's a deep drive, and he won't get any park help here. But a 0-0, that's going to be a deep fly ball to center field. And Matty Alou gave it a ride, but right there is Tommy Agee. Here's Joe Torre now with a 59, and that's ball 4. So Seaver loses Torre. He's on at first. Here's Ted Simmons. Simmons with an RBI double. Drove in the only run for the Cardinals in this game. We may get a wild pitch, a 40. And a 40 is going to be a wild pitch C, D, or F, and Seaver is a C. So another wild pitch by Seaver, the second one of the game. That puts the tying run at second base. So that's trouble. Let's see what happens. Oh, throw this D20. And that is a 22 and a 6. That's going to be a defensive call. See if the Mets defense can back up George Thomas Seaver on this. A 24. That's going to be a potential range play. It may drop in an 18, and it won't drop in. Great play by the second baseman. Ooh, Kenny Boswell at second base. What is he like there? He is a 2, which is not very good. Kenny Boswell at 2 at second base. Let's see. We rolled an 18. An 18, and he gets there. And over to first and in time, but that allows the tying run to move to third base. That's 90 feet away. Tying run is 90 feet away, and up comes Joe Haig. Haig batted .226 with 16 home runs, so he's got some power. So it's a clutch situation for Tom Seaver. That's one thing that he can add to some pitchers as well. He can add the clutch rating. So when there's 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, they get a little bump. Here's a pitch, and that is an 81. That's going to be a defensive call again. Uh-oh. And a 35 is going to be a range call again. Oh, no. And a 0-3 is a catcher. And no, it's back to the pitcher. Great play by Seaver. Picks it up over to first. And in time to retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 left on the walk. And Seaver comes through for himself on the defensive end. Very athletic. And here's Duffy Dyer. Duffy Dyer leading it off in the top of the 7th. It's 2-1 Mets. Bob Gibson. Both pitchers are 14 points endurance, so they're going to probably go the whole game. That's an 89 and a 6, and that's ripped hard to the shortstop. Maxville up with it. Throws high, but nice stretch by Matty Alou at first base. Tom Seaver's next. He's 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded out. Bob Gibson checks for the sign. Full windup, and here's the pitch, and that's a 20, a strikeout. Blows a fastball by Seaver, and that is his 5th strikeout of the game. Here's Buddy Harrelson, who's 0 for 3 today. Gibson with the pitch and a 0-5. That's going to be a ground ball and through into right field for a base hit. So Buddy Harrelson picks up a base knock, and he's first with 2 outs. Here's Wayne Garrett, second. He's playing third base, third baseman, second baseman. He's at third base today. Here's a pitch from Gibson, a 0-0. That's a deep drive. He's going to get ballpark help. Oh, actually, that's a single. It's a base hit single with 2 outs. Buddy Harrelson with 2 outs. Question mark. We're going to try to get him to third, and that's a 74. And he should make it to third on a 74. No, he holds up, so he does not go to third. First and second, Cleon Jones. All right, Bob Gibson. Oh, that's a potential wild pitch, 0-7. Let's see what that becomes. 0-7 is a F is a wild pitch, and Gibson is a D, so there's no wild pitch blocked by Simmons. And here's the pitch to Cleon Jones with 2 outs and first and second. It's an 81 and a 1, and that's popped up middle of the infield. Second baseman Sizemore calling for it by the second base bag, hauls it in. No runs, 2 hits, bottom of the 7th, 2-1 Mets. Tom Terrific is going to face Jose Cruz, the center fielder, Dal Maxwell, and Bob Gibson. 1970s, you get pitchers going deep into games. This is line base hit, right field, played on a hop by Kenny Singleton. So Cruz is on with a leadoff single. I popped it in the wrong place on my scorebook. There it is. Fixed Dal Maxwell. Dal Maxwell's going to square away. And that is an 80 and a 4, and that will be a good. Oh, no, it's defensive check. We're going to defensive check on a bunt. Let me see what that is. Hold on a second. I don't remember doing that. Okay, result from batter card. Blooper off the bat. So this is a result from the pitcher card. Result from pitcher card. Tough play. Roll a die and subtract 4. If the result is hold on, fielder the play cleanly for a sacrifice. Other ball for a 1 base error. All right, it's a ball to the first baseman. Who's at first base for the Mets? It is Crankpool. Crankpool is a 4. So what does it say? All right, roll as a track. Okay, so if we're going to roll and subtract 4, if the rating is higher than the fielder's rating, no. If it's otherwise, the ball is misplayed. So it's either a sacrifice or a 1 base error. So let's roll again and subtract 4, and it's okay. It's basically, hold on a second. This is on a bunt. A possible error on a bunt is kind of tricky. Okay, if it's equal to or less than, if it's equal to, otherwise, okay, if it's equal to or less than the fielder's rating, they played cleanly for a sacrifice. Okay, so he does play it cleanly for a sacrifice. Otherwise, all right, so it's basically a sacrifice to the first baseman Cranepool, who tags out Dal Maxwell. And that's going to bring up Bob Gibson. Yeah, we're not pinch hitting for Bob Gibson here. In the bottom of the seventh, we're letting him stay in there. He's going to bat. He's he bats 172, but not pinch hitting for him. I don't know that I would pinch hit for Seaver either in this case. All right, Seaver to Gibson, and that is a 64. That's a strikeout. So Seaver blows a fastball by Gibson. That is strikeout number 5. And here comes Lou Brock. So Seaver with the tying run at second base in a 2-1 ball game facing Lou Brock. And Lou Brock is not going to get the best of Seaver. That's a fly ball to center field, shallow center, racing in his AG. He gets there, and that retires the side. No runs. 1 hit, 1 left, top of the 8th. Eddie Kranepool. That's a 62. A 62 and a 2, and that's a base on balls. So Eddie Kranepool walks. Kenny Boswell is going to bunt. That's an 89 and a 5, and that's a good bunt. That is a good bunt, and there's a 2, a 5 says it's to the first baseman. So sacrifice. Tommy Agee now with a runner on second base. Going to walk Agee to set up the double play. And here's Kenny Singleton. And that is a 59. A 59 is a base hit. Kranepool's going to stop at third base. Bases are loaded. Infield is in now for the Cardinals. Top of the 8th, 2-1 Mets. Oh, this could be a wild pitch in a 17. He's a D. 17 says pitcher is an F. It's a wild pitch, so no wild pitch. Blocked by, again, a ball in the dirt. That is blocked by Ted Simmons to prevent a run from scoring. So great play by Ted Simmons, the catcher for the Cardinals. Again, we roll that 20, looking for that 1. We don't get it. That's a 49 and a 2, and this is going to be a slow ground ball to the first baseman. And he's going to go home with it. To the pitcher, excuse me. Back to the pitcher, Gibson. Flips it to the catcher. Duffy Dyer slow, back to first, in time. It's a 1, 2, 3, double play. Actually, you can do 1, 2, 4. So the second baseman was covering the bag. And the Cardinals get out of a huge jam. No runs, 1 hit, 2 walks. And we're bottom of the 8th. So the way, basically, it's my home rule that if you have the bases loaded and the infield is in and the guy is slow or very slow, you get a double play on that. And if it happens too often, which it doesn't, there's not a lot. There's like 1 guy on the team that is a slow or very slow batter. All right, Tom Seaver against Ted Sizemore, the second baseman, who's 0 for 3. He's flied out 3 times today. 2-1 Mets in the bottom of the 8th. Question is, can Tom Terrific hold on? And that's an 88 and 6, and that is ripped to the shortstop, Buddy House, and backhands it. The long throw from the hole, and just gets Ted Sizemore by half a step. Great play by Buddy Howson, showing off the gun. Matty Alou is 1 for 3 today. He's struck out, singled, and flied out. He's a 300 hitter, so he is somebody that Tom Seaver wants to, and he drove one of Seaver's fastballs deep to center field. He is a batter that Seaver wants to proceed with caution against. And that's a 45. Great pitch by Seaver. And this is a medium ground roller to the second baseman who scoops it up and throws to first to get Alou by half a step. 2 outs, Joe Torre. Here's a pitch from Seaver. That's a 31, and that is a 2. And that's a comebacker. Seaver off the mound, picks it up, fires to first in time, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for Tom Terrific. Wow, okay, so Thomas Seaver has pitched a 1 for 4 hitters so far in 8 innings against the Cardinals. Top of the 9th, Seaver's leading off. And that is a 0-3, and that is a little blooper, and it dunks in there, Texas leaguer for Tom Terrific. He's on at first. Buddy House is going to square. It's a 47 and 9. That's a good bunt. And a 9 was to the third baseman. So sacrifice 5 to 4. And up comes Wayne Garrett with a runner at second base. And here's a pitch to Garrett, 73, strike 3. So Gibson picks up his 6th strikeout of the game. Cleon Jones. And here's a pitch to Jones, a 77 and a 6, and that is ripped to shortstop Dal Maxville. He's after it, scoops it up, spinorama over to first, and in time to retire the side. The Mets again leave a runner on in scoring position. And no runs, 1 hit, bottom of the 9th. So we've got Frizella, Danny Frizella, who's having an amazing season for the Mets in the bullpen, warming up, and Tug McGraw. So we got Simmons, a switch hitter, Joe Haig, a lefty, and then Jose Cruz, a lefty. So we may see Tug McGraw. And probably if Seaver allows 1 base runner, we're probably going to pull him. See what happens. All right, so Seaver looks into Duffy Dyer for the sign. Here's the pitch. That's a 34. And a 5 is hit hard to the shortstop, Harrelson. And he picks it up over to first, 1 away. So the Cardinals are down to their last 2 outs in a 2-1 ball game against Tom Terrific, pitching a gem, a masterpiece. 4 hit shutout so far for Tom Terrific. Actually, no, he's allowed to run. Excuse me. 2-1. Joe Haig. And a 71 and a 3, and that's strike 3. And Seaver picks up his 6th strikeout of the game. So the Cardinals, with Jose Cruz, are down to their last out. Seaver's on the verge of another amazing pitched game. Here's the pitch from Seaver, a 79. This looks like, oh, it's a defensive call. See what happens. A 66, and that is grounded to the second baseman. Nice pickup by Boswell. Throw to first, and in time. Ball game is over. Tom Seaver does it again. 2-1. Allows 4 hits. And errors, I don't think there were any. Oh, there was an error. There was a 2-base error. 2-base error on Lou Brock. No errors on the Mets, I believe. Almost an error, but no. And the Mets had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. And I have to input this. So final line score, the New York Mets in 1971. Seaver's going to win his 19th, by the way. New York Mets, 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The Cardinals, 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error. Seaver was masterful at every level. He struggled in 1 inning, was that 4th inning, but then got out of a bases loaded jam. And thanks to a nice play in left field by Cleon Jones. But that was really the only inning that he truly struggled in. There was a couple of situations with runners on second in the 6th and the 7th, and Seaver got through that and then retired the last 9 in a row. Tom Seaver picks up a double star today for an amazing pitched game. And again, the line score is Mets 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Cardinals 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error. We continue with next start for Tom Seaver. And thanks for watching. Thanks for coming by. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Try out Deep Drive Baseball. It's an amazing game. And this is CP Cards and Dice TV. I will see you guys soon. Take care.